My shots from the bottle days are over.
Told myself I wasn't drinking. I don't want you to be nervous at all. We have a second guest today, and it's Tanya's Birkin. Do you want to explain the process of how someone can even dream about getting a Birkin, a Kelly?
So I went to Chris Brown's house.
I don't think Chris Brown's making a drink for a girl he's not trying to fuck.
I still think if someone ever tells me don't get me a gift, I still get a gift. But of course, I try to take into account.
Obviously, we're both manifestors. Yeah. What's one of your biggest tricks to get what you want?
I think this is where men fall short when they're trying to get a gift for their girlfriend.
Let's talk about diamond rings versus lab diamonds.
You mean fake diamonds? God,
Tanya's like, if no one died from a motherfucking ring, then I don't want it.
Well,
blood diamond, baby.
We're getting canceled.
You're listening to the Xpodcast. The X you keep coming back to.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Xpodcast. It's your homegirl, Alessia. Before the episode starts, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, comment. I love when you guys comment. It's so fun interacting with you. Just so you know, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and Snapchat. So be sure to follow me everywhere. So today I have a guest. She is a reoccurring guest. She's been on before. She is also associated to my ex-partner, Veronica. So I'm sure at this point you probably know who she is. Give it up for Tanya.
Hi. I love how you said ex-partner, like you're now cheating on her with her sister.
Well, it kind of feels like that, even if it's just like one episode.
It's like when the guy goes and he like hooks up with one sister and then they break up and then he goes and revenge hooks up with the other sister.
Well, first of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with the guy in that situation. I think it has to do with like what's going on with the sisters.
100%. So am I the bad sister right now?
I mean, maybe. So the last time we had you on, we spoke about so many things. If you guys haven't watched that episode, then you should definitely go watch it. But today we were like in the holiday spirit. You're wearing a red skirt. I'm wearing a red top. So we're just going to like talk about so many random things. I feel like we've been talking about doing this for a long time. So here we are. You have to speak on this podcast, you know? It's a talking podcast.
I feel kind of awkward just holding
it. I didn't know you were still holding it. I didn't know you were still holding it. Oh my God. I thought you were going to place it once I did the hey guys. Okay, put it.
You want me to put it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Woo.
So we actually have two guests. Yeah, we have a third guest.
Actually, yeah, you're not a guest. A second guest.
We have a second guest today, and it's Tanya's bag, her Birkin. Have you named her?
Yeah, her name's Bella. Because the color is béton, so I wanted something with a B, and then I was like, well, she's beautiful, so...
Her name is Bella.
Bella.
So when did you get her?
Actually more than a year ago. Exactly a year ago in like a couple weeks.
So obviously the process with getting a Birkin is not like you go to Hermès and be like, hi, I want a Birkin. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
Basically.
So do you want to like explain the process a little bit for anybody who could ever dream of having one?
Why am I nervous?
I don't know why.
Why am I sweating?
Do you need a shot?
I need a shot.
You want a shot?
Why is my hand shaking?
You want a shot?
Quickly.
It's
just one.
Tanya's looking at me in the eyes like she's staring into my soul. I'm like,
chug it from the bottle.
no, I'm going to give you a shot glass.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you know what?
Don't post this though. Don't post this part. I'm trying to be classy from now on. My shots from the bottle days are over.
That's true. Until she's drunk. You want me to do one? Do you feel better if I do it with you?
Yeah.
I told myself I wasn't drinking.
Whoever's going to watch this later is going to be like, random girls just drink from the bottle.
Should we do one more? Woo!
Okay.
I don't want you to be nervous at all.
Okay.
Do you want to explain the process of how someone can even dream about getting a Birkin, a Kelly at Hermès?
Yeah, so I don't want to give all my secrets, obviously, but it's definitely a process for sure. So there's
So one, you have to have money.
yeah, number one.
I think.
Or your boyfriend or husband has to have money. But you cannot use his credit card to buy it. So he has to get a credit card in your name.
Sounding like I'm ready for marriage.
Yeah.
Wow, I knew that, but like it's nice to
Yeah.
state that because I feel like a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, so basically Hermès doesn't take cash, only card. And then when you do get the Birkin, we're skipping a few steps here, but when you do get the Birkin, you have to pay by card. The card has to be under your name. They check your ID to make sure it's actually your card. And it can only be paid on one card. So you have to have a big enough limit to be able to put it all on one card. You can't split it up.
There's no like.
There's no take this card, take this one, take this one.
Here's a little bit of cash. Do you guys take Afterpay here?
Yeah, no, none of that. It has to be on one card under your name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you have a good old Amex that works well.
Yep. They just raised my limit even more now.
I love that. You know, when Tanya got an Amex, I was like, excuse me, why do I not have one? I went to apply. I'm like, I only want it if I can get the rose gold one.
You got it, right?
And I got the rose gold one, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so elite.
Yeah.
Like,
It's actually like the worst Amex card, by the way, but like it just looks
is
cool.
it? I love the look of it.
Yeah. I was talking to my friend who was in banking before, and he was like, you know that the gold, well, it's gold, rose gold, same one. It's the worst Amex card. It gets you like no points for anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's my first year, so I think they're like just tripling on the points right now, so it's doing well. But yeah, no, ideally it'd be to have the black one with no limit.
Well, obviously.
I mean, I'm not there yet, but I'll let you guys know. Okay, so you go to Hermès, and now how do you start your file in order to get one? Because obviously the resale value on it, it's an investment piece.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. So if ever you were to resell it, which, you know, you shouldn't, but you can get like 3 to 4 times your money that you spent on it.
Which is crazy. Like the same way men love their watches and, you know, they can go up in value. I don't know about right now for Rolex and stuff, but I know like a year and a half ago it was like insane, like during COVID.
But this is even more insane.
This is
worth, when
Yeah.
you buy this, you can resell it for way more. Like the markup is much higher than if you resell a watch.
But they don't
Well,
allow
depending
you.
which
But they
watch.
don't allow, like technically you're not allowed to sell your bag in the first 2 years you get it, right?
In Canada.
yeah, of course. In Canada, there's always more rules. Like,
Yeah.
why would something be simple for us?
I don't know how it is in the US. In Canada, you have to wait 2 years. Otherwise, you're blacklisted.
Yeah, like to get another one, it would just be a mess.
Yeah.
And
Well,
how
you
much
would
do you
never
have
get
to,
another
like,
one.
how much around do you have to spend in order to even get your first one?
That's a hard question. They don't really tell you like how much you have to spend. It also depends. You have to become friendly with your associate. Always go to the same person. Make a relationship with them.
I've heard people getting fucked. They were like, the sales associate was like promising them, yeah, spend money and like you'll be next. And then they ended up like quitting or just like
Yeah.
I've heard horror
Yeah,
stories.
that sucks. But it always goes on your profile anyway. So the next associate that takes over,
Kind of sees what you've spent.
they see how much you've spent. Obviously, like they want you to spend with them because they want to get the commission.
Yeah.
So
Do you find yourself buying things that you don't really want because you're like, I need another one?
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I feel like any girl trying to get a Hermès, like, well, a quota bag feels the way I feel.
Yeah.
We all got a lot of Orient sandals.
And when you put in your request for the type of bag you want, were they like, I can't promise you it?
Yeah, you
It
don't
might-
get to pick your bag.
Because technically, whatever bag comes in, you have to be like, I'll take it, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. If you say no, they'll not offer you another one.
Which is so crazy. Can you put in like, okay, I'm looking into more this color? Like you
Yeah.
can try, but whatever comes in, like if lime green comes in, like, and that's your first one, lime green is your first one.
Yeah, well, obviously you're gonna build a relationship with your sales associate, and then they'll ask you, what's your wish list? So what are the bags that you'd like to have? And you could kind of give them a few options. Doesn't mean they'll get you that specific one, but they're obviously gonna try to get you something
In your...
in your wish list or something that they know would look good on me. So this, I didn't
okay,
ask.
I'm glad they get to choose what looks good on me. Bitch, I'll tell you what I want.
That's why you have to make a good relationship.
For sure,
Yeah.
sure. So I'm manifesting one. I really want one.
Okay.
I really want a Kelly. A little
Kelly.
small Kelly,
Yeah.
black, gold hardware.
A mini Kelly?
A mini Kelly.
I don't know about the first one being a mini Kelly.
Oh, I don't know. I love it. But this is the 20.
It's hard to get a mini Kelly.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But obviously, why would I want something that everybody has?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be
You
real.
just have to spend a little extra for the mini Kelly.
But like, hopefully at that point, I'm sorry, but I don't think there's ever going to be a point in my life where I'm like, I really want to buy this myself. Like, I think whether I like make it big and I'm making so much money, I still want my Matt to buy it for me.
Just make sure he gets a credit card in your name.
No stress.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a 25.
Yeah. 25 Birkin
Okay.
in Béton, which is like a gray color. Can look sometimes beigey in certain lights.
It's a beautiful first color, honestly.
It's the best color. When I got it, I obviously was in love right away, but then I actually didn't wear her for the first year that I had her. It stayed in the box. I wore it like 1 or 2 times, and then I would re-wrap it all back up and put it back in the box.
I know what you mean, because
Yeah.
it's like, this is valued at so much. Like, I can't ruin it.
Yeah, I didn't even take the stickers off for the full first year. I also wanted to film an unboxing, which I never did. So this is her official,
She's making it on the podcast.
her official welcoming.
Look, you did it just in a different way. But you know what I find really crazy is that Chanel has been obviously going up in price so much. Like every 6 months they go up now, and it's like, where is it being made? China.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like Chanel is really at this point now where they're at the same price as
They're more expensive.
They're more expensive.
Yeah.
Like you got one recently, right? Weren't
Yeah.
you freaking out on how much the prices increased?
I got the small.
Yeah, you got the one like I
the
have
small-
nude and
Yeah, the small classic. With tax, it was like 14,000 Canadian.
which is like at that point like I want a Birkin.
Yeah, my Birkin was less than that.
And your Birkin is not made in China.
No, handmade in Paris.
So it's like
In an atelier. And the quality itself, like you touch it and this is like a quality bag. My Chanel,
also the resale value on a Chanel is nowhere near what it is on a
no,
Birkin.
you lose money if you resell. It for sure holds its value, but you're not like tripling your money.
Right. Anyway, okay, well, you heard a little bit about designer bags and that girls want that for the holidays. So, any other gifts that you feel like are good?
My next one's coming soon.
You're like, my Amex works, but you know what else works? Somebody else buying it for me.
Just start making the credit card in my name.
Let's talk about horoscopes for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
So, what is the best sign?
Aquarius.
Okay, great. I will not disagree with you on that.
I feel like Aquarius are the only ones that think that they're the best, and then everyone else hates us, I think.
No, I don't think, honestly, we have a personality where we get along with everyone.
Yeah.
Because we know how to adapt our personality.
Definitely.
You know?
Super adaptable.
We really can adapt to where we are.
I think every Aquarius is just super cocky, though, and some people take that not so well.
Yeah, but I think it's just like part of it. But when you get to know us, we're soft,
Yeah.
you know? But we
Sort
have
of.
to crack that ish.
Yeah.
But then we'll also remind you who the fuck we are all the time.
All the time. Do you know who you're talking to?
The only reason I believe in signs is because of every person I meet that's an Aquarius. I'm sorry. Like, it's
Instant connection.
instant connection. And I really feel the difference with an Aquarius versus any other sign.
I also think we're the most kind of open-minded sign.
I would agree with that.
I feel like we can listen to someone else's point of view and be like, okay, I get why you feel that way. I'm still right, but I get why you feel that way.
Whereas like other people will be like, no.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
And I don't believe in saying like you're wrong. I think everyone has different points of views and different
Exactly. 2 + 2 is floor, but also 3 + 1. You know what I mean?
floor.
Floor. Fuck, I fucked up. Okay, so I'm 27 and you're 29. I'm freaking out a little bit, and you were giving me a pep talk, so I
Yeah.
kind of want to have that pep talk here on the pop on the pop up. I want to.
And the pop pop.
We're 2 years apart. I'm 27, you're 29. And you were telling me that 27 was like your hardest year.
27 was my hardest.
Okay, so talk to me about it, because I feel like it's been a hard year for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like 27 was definitely one of my hardest years. When I was 27, people would be like, how old are you? And I'd say 28 by accident.
Really?
Because I was so worried about turning 28 that I would just I already thought I was 28. I had just turned 27
That
and I
kind
was
of
like
happens
28.
to me actually now that you mention it.
Yeah, because
like
you're
now,
so focused on being 28 that you already think you're 28.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with the whole movement going on of people being like, you're only worthy if you're like 21, it kind of
Oh my God, is that a thing? Wait, is that happening?
on TikTok. I know you're not really
On
on
TikTok.
Well, it's just like everyone is like,
Everyone on TikTok's 13, so.
yeah, literally. And they also are like, the best kind of girls are like 21. Like you're almost like deemed as like lower value if you're older.
First of all,
but
21 me was not the best me for
no,
sure.
I feel like I'm definitely on my hottest now.
Really?
Yeah. Excuse me? Unless you want to say something.
I don't know when was my hottest. I feel like
Now, for
you
sure.
Think? You think I'm the hottest now?
Yes. You were always pretty, but like I think, I don't know. I feel like we're living in a day and age where like every woman is getting more beautiful as they get older and not the other way around, which is
Cool.
why I find it so weird when men are like,
Botox. Filler. Facelifts. I mean,
that's crazy that they even, well, you didn't do a facelift.
I actually did a mini lift.
Don't do yourself dirty. You didn't
No.
need a facelift.
No, I
like-
didn't do like a full facelift. I did, but I had to do a mini lift because of my jaw surgery. So it's not that like I needed it, but they
But
removed
people are thinking
bone.
like facelift.
No, I didn't do that.
Come on, you're
No.
fucking
I did a little
29
mini.
years old.
They had to tighten my jawline because they removed some bone. So essentially, because they removed the bone and they like moved my chin a little bit back, my skin would have been sagging.
So you had no choice, but it wasn't like a facelift. Like we're talking
No.
fox eyes, like you know.
No. So 27 was definitely my hardest age. I was so worried about turning 28. I was like, what have I done with my life at
Yeah.
this point? I wasn't really working at that time. I had finished school and not doing anything with my life. Really, and my dreams have always been to have a business. I just don't know what that business is yet. And at that point, I'm like, why don't I have this figured out yet? Why am I doing nothing? I'm turning 28 and my life is not going anywhere. I don't have, a husband.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that's gonna be a husband anytime
Yeah.
soon. So it's stressful because as a girl, you do have an internal clock. As much as we can look hotter, we can get facelifts, you can only have kids until a certain age.
Yeah.
As well. So that was all playing in my head, and I just really felt down about it.
Yeah.
A lot. Like really hard. I was depressed. I was drinking to cover up, being depressed and like not knowing if that was making me feel more shitty because I'm being less productive. So it was a lot of emotions. And then when I actually turned 28, I still felt shitty. I made a lot
Great. So it's not uphill just yet for me.
well, I made a lot of decisions at 28 that I was like, okay, breaking up with the boyfriend, that's not going anywhere.
Right.
Getting a job. I got a job. How old was I when I got a job? I don't know if I was 28. I was a little further. I did go to LA.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about
that. Was after I turned 28. I was in LA for a while, and I was just like wilding. I was like,
You were turning into an LA chick.
no, I was just like drunk every day,
I remember
having
this.
a really hard time. Like I turned 28 and it got even harder for like a good 2 months. And then I woke up one morning and I was like, what the hell is wrong with me?
Yeah.
I need to get my life under control. So I came back to Montreal. I kind of started cleaning up my life, started focusing on things that would make me feel more productive. Even though I wasn't like starting the business that I want right away, I did get a job. I started doing things that were making me feel more productive.
Right. And that's
so-
it's really about getting into routine with things. And then
Yeah.
I feel like once you start doing things, everything just kind of like comes into play and it figures itself out.
Yeah,
But I think when
exactly.
you're doing nothing and you're worrying about doing nothing, it's like
I
the
already
worst.
think you're ahead of where I was at 28. Like you at least have the podcast, you have some stuff going on. I had nothing really going on
Right.
and it was bringing me even more down. Apart from the fact that I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting old. I'm going to be like ugly soon.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have wrinkles.
No. Botox. Filler.
Botox, filler.
I mean, makes so much sense though. I feel
Yeah.
like if any guy is listening, this is just like what girls think of.
Yeah, and I feel like guys can't really relate because they can have kids until they're 85.
First of all,
like,
literally.
what's his name? Just had a kid. He's like in his 80s, no?
Who?
That actor.
Anyway, whatever. But
Yeah. Anyways, so they can't understand this. They don't get it that at 40 it's dangerous to have kids, and you might be able to, might not be able to.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of advanced. There's advanced technology right now.
You can freeze your eggs and stuff, but do you want to be like an older grandma taking care of your kid?
No, but I'm also like, I don't want to put that pressure on myself where I'm like, I need to have a kid now.
Oh my God, I don't want to put more pressure.
No, but I just think I'm 28 and I'm nowhere near ready to have kids. I do know I want kids.
Yeah.
I don't, like, ideally, when I used to think about a perfect life, I was already married by now. And like,
same.
I was already, like, now I was starting my process of having kids. And when I think about it now, I'm like, I don't even have a man in my life. Like, I feel
like I'm still a kid. I don't think I can take care of a kid.
Yeah, but I think, okay, great. I'm turning 28 years old. If I meet someone, let's say at 28, then I still want to be with them and make sure they're the right person for at least a year and a half, 2 years before we get married. And
before
then
you get married or before you get engaged?
Before I get engaged. So then it's like, I'm 30 and now I have a ring on my finger, but I'm probably not married yet. And like, I don't want to be an old mom. And it's like, I'm 30 and I have the ring, but then it's like, I still want to spend 2 years traveling with my husband and like doing all these things. So I'm just like, these are all the things that kind of go through a girl's mind.
I feel like now, after I turned 28 and I went like through that whole battle, I feel like by the middle of that, by the time I was 29, I was like, okay, it's not that bad. Like, I was freaking out for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, life goes on. You still have time. There's people that are doing less than you. You're already...
Yeah.
And I really put myself down because I have done a lot of things.
For sure.
For my age. Like, I have studied a lot of different... I studied mechanical engineering, software engineering. I'm very capable, and I think getting a job kind of reminded me of how capable I am
and how smart you are,
how smart I am, how like hardworking I am. So I have it in me to have what I want.
Yeah.
So I feel like that really kind of settled it for me.
For sure. I think the worst thing about not having a job is kind of feeling like, where are you going, and like are you valuable to this world? Almost, it feels like, am I useless?
Yeah.
And then when you start, you're like, I'm fucking the best here, like so. No, I totally get that. Okay, so it's only uphill for me.
Only uphill.
Okay, great. I'm sounding like I'm so depressed and stuff, and I'm not. It's just like, it creeps up on you, these thoughts. Yeah. So it's nice to know that it's only uphill from here. And now you're excited to turn 30.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to have like a really fun birthday. I want to do something that I haven't done yet.
Okay.
Because I've experienced a lot of stuff, but I feel like 30 is the time where you want to do something new.
Yeah. Any idea where we're going? I love how I'm like, where we're going.
Well, we have our birthdays 2 days apart, in case anyone didn't know.
Yeah. We were actually discussing how maybe we were going to do Dubai for our birthdays, which I've already put that in my head that we're doing that. So now, like, there's no...
If Alessia's manifesting it, it's happening.
100%. And if you're manifesting it, it's happening.
Oh, it's definitely... You're talking to the biggest manifestors.
Literally. Obviously, we're both manifestors. Yeah. What's one of your biggest tricks to get what you want?
So for me, I'll tell you how I started manifesting, and it's before it was even a thing. When I was little, I don't know if I said this on the last podcast. I feel like I might have. But when I was little, I was the kind of girl where my parents would be like, you can't go to that birthday party. And in my head, I'd be like, I'm still going. And I would like get my outfit ready and think about all the stuff I was going to wear and bring to the birthday party. And then they'd be like, no, you're grounded. You're not going. And the day before, my mom would be like, okay, fine, you can go. And I feel like I just always knew. Every time they were like, that's not happening, I wouldn't even say anything. I wouldn't argue with them. I'd be like, okay, fine. And in my head, I'd just be like, I'm going to the birthday party. And I would just go.
I think I'm so similar to you in that sense. I almost feel like I'm so delusional.
Yeah, that it just
like
happened.
I'm so delusional that I think that's why we get what we want, because I feel like a lot of people don't get what they want because they're affected by what people say. Rule of thumb is like, if you're manifesting something and then somebody comes in your head and is like, no, you can't have it, and then you're like, oh my God, maybe I can have it, then it's like you're not getting it.
Exactly.
You can't. You actually have to believe that you have it already.
You have to believe that it's happening. That's what I would do. Like as a kid, I was like, I'm going.
Yeah.
It's really just like envisioning yourself in that place and taking the steps and getting ready. Like I would get ready for the birthday party. I would still get like put together what gift I'm gonna get her. Like think about stuff that's bringing you closer to that outcome, and then it happens for you.
Oh, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's just about setting it free and knowing you're gonna have it, and then it's just like you don't put pressure on it.
Yeah,
and
you don't beg your parents, let me go. Like, it was just like, you just let it happen. You are like, it's happening, and you let it go.
Yeah.
Which is...
And I feel like it's happened for us in so many different ways.
Actually, I want to talk about this. Something I started doing, because I never really practiced manifesting. It's just something that I would naturally kind of do inside of me, you know, from growing up. But I feel like as I got older, and when I got in that headspace at 28, when I was like so down on myself, things were not going so well for me, and I was like in a bad headspace. But then I actually got a journal, like, you know, the little manifesting journal where you write like gratitude and stuff. And I feel like once I started doing that, it kind of helped me kind of get in that headspace again of manifesting and being grateful for things. And then stuff just started happening for me. Everything I would write in that journal, it was just happening.
Yeah. I think for sure you have to be grateful for what you have in order to get more. I think that's a great point. Like, if you're like, I hate my life, like everything bad happens to me, like, babe, get ready.
Oh, this always happens. It's
get
always
ready,
bad.
because
you're manifesting bad things to come to you.
Even if you don't want it, by you speaking it out into existence, you're believing it. Because, and I think the hardest part about manifesting is that your mind needs to actually believe what you're saying.
Well, you can manifest bad things as well.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that's the problem. So many people get so down on themselves, and then you're actually manifesting bad things to happen to you. So if you have a hard time manifesting, definitely get a journal. I felt like silly writing in a journal, but it really helps.
I think also journaling, not even for manifesting, but just to kind of see where you are at that point, and then to read it back afterwards, you're kind of just like, wow, I can't believe I thought those things then. Look how far I've come, you know, in like even your thoughts. Because sometimes you don't realize, because you just go on with your life. But then when you read back to where you were at that time, you're like, holy shit, I've come so far. Yeah. So getting older is a blessing. It's not a bad thing. So
it is a blessing.
It is a blessing, because
you know who said that?
What?
Bradley actually did a thing like that.
Really? Like, getting older is a blessing?
Yeah, he was like, the fact that you made it to this age is a blessing.
100%. You're turning 30, and I feel like I'm with the confident queen. So I want to give my listeners some advice if they're kind of feeling down about their life or anything they're kind of going through, how they can kind of just remember that they're that bitch, for guy or girl.
Guy or girl, for sure. Everybody gets down.
You know? Everybody has those days. Everybody knows.
Okay. Well, number one, we already spoke about it. If you have a hard time manifesting, start journaling. Start being grateful for what you already have. So it doesn't have to be complicated. Just write down in the morning 3 things that you're grateful for. And that will already give you a better perspective on life and make you feel better.
Yes.
So that's for sure number 1. Number 2 is always be confident. Always know that you are that bitch. And again, if you have a hard time, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Smile, walk in there with your head up high, stand up with like good posture, and pretend that you're that bitch. You know, like, did you ever hear of a power posture?
No, what's a power posture?
It's basically like when you stand like this, like the superwoman posture. It's scientifically proven that makes you already feel more confident.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, because I got these 2 chairs for the podcast, and I feel like I've never been more hunchback in my entire life. I'm trying so hard to not be, and it's the hardest thing.
Why do I feel so proper?
I know, I love that for you, but I've been on these for a little bit now, and I'm kind of losing it already.
It's bad to be hunched. It actually weakens your
for sure
confidence.
You know what's actually weird? We were at a party yesterday, and a girl came up to me, and she's like, oh my God, Alessia, like, I just want to say I feel like you really came into your own. Like, I don't remember you being this confident. And I was really thinking about it. I'm like,
you're like, I've always been that bitch. I heard her say that, and I was like, I feel like Alessia's always been confident.
Yeah.
But then I kind of thought
and then I really thought back to it, and I was like, well, no, like, I haven't always been to this level of confidence. I feel like every year I get older, I'm way more comfortable in my skin. And so when she brought me back, it's somebody I haven't seen in so long, right? So I'm trying to understand from her perspective at that time what she was seeing, and it makes so much sense how she's like, you're doing a podcast now, you're so comfortable being on video, and I'm like, wow. Like,
that when she said that's when it clicked for me.
I was like, wow, I remember starting the podcast, I couldn't even look at a camera.
Me too. Remember, I used to have to film like videos like this when like stories became a thing, and I would have to film them for like 3 hours. For a 2-second story, I would film for 3 hours because I was like, I don't like how my mouth looked like that. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And now you're filming a whole podcast and you can't change what your mouth looked like.
100%. I think for sure, like, getting a nose job definitely helped. And
I wouldn't put it just down to that.
no. I don't think it was just getting a nose job, but I think it was just realizing that, like, I'm stuck in this bitch. Like, this is who I am. I cannot change it. I can alter things, but the root of who I am is this.
Yeah.
So if I'm not comfortable in it, how the hell am I going to find somebody?
You have to love yourself first.
You have to love yourself first, yes. But I think something that really helped for me was just waking up in the morning. Like, you know, you wake up in the morning, you don't always feel your best. Like, when I put makeup and do my hair, I'm like, oh, I'm that bitch. But it's really hard in the morning when you're like, I'm tired. Like, I have so much to do, to look at yourself and feel like that bitch, you know?
Yeah.
But I think what's most important and what's really helped me is that without makeup, going in the mirror and just like, even when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, just like put on music and I'm just like, oh, like I'm so happy to be me. Like I'm so grateful. I love myself. These are 5 things I love about myself. And then even if you don't believe them, after a while, you're just like, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, boom, 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 boom. Because you're always saying it to yourself. At some point, you just believe it. And then it just becomes easier. And then you only just add to the list after. And you're like, I have this, 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 and this. And then actually there's this now, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think rule number 1 is really just looking in the mirror and being like, I'm that bitch and this is why.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's move on.
I agree with everything you just said. I just want to say one last thing on that is what you said about telling yourself these things in the mirror. That for sure works as well. And I feel like it also, again, fake it till you make it. It makes you look prettier when you're happy, when you're smiling. So if you feel like you don't like the way you look, just being a happier person and a more confident and more positive person makes you look prettier.
For sure.
And you start, like, your muscles start, like, that's another scientific thing. If you're depressed, like, your skin starts to go down because you're always, like, not smiling and frowning, and then you start getting, like, saggy. So if you're always smiling, it brings everything up and you look good.
Interesting.
Yeah. So laugh a lot, smile.
People are like, well, I'm getting wrinkles by doing that. So, babe, which one is it?
Well, there's always Botox for that.
Okay, so you were talking about being in LA.
Yeah.
And I know you went through a stage where you were kind of like in the scene. And I remember I came to visit you at a point and I was like, what the hell is going on in this city? I remember we were both at a party and we saw Chris Brown and I'm like, oh my God, Tanya, is that Chris Brown? And you're like, yeah, actually I have so much to tell you. Like I went to his house and I was like, tell me everything. And we got to share it with the exes.
So I went to Chris Brown's house and we walk in. And they're like, put your phone in this basket, which I was expecting. That's like a normal thing when you're going to a celebrity's house. They don't want you taking videos. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then they're like, take off your shoes. And I'm like, my shoes? Like, I'm 5'2", 5'3". Like, I'm not taking off my shoes. They're
and
like,
it's part of my outfit.
Yeah, it's part of my outfit. Another thing about confidence, I don't feel confident when I'm flat-footed. Like, a good pair of heels is a nice confidence boost. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to go walk in front of Chris Brown in my barefoot. I was like, no. They're like, ma'am, you have to take off your shoes if you want to come in. So I'm like, okay, fine. Taking off my heels, put them in another basket. And they're like, hey, you can come in now. So I get in there. There's a few other girls that are already there. And I see some of the girls have their shoes on.
And you're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, why does that girl have her heels on? Why did I have to take mine off? And the other guy's like, oh, like, you know, they're the homies, so, like, they can keep their shoes on. But, like, since you're new, they want to make sure that you're not going to scratch stuff, so you have to take yours off. Like, we don't know you.
You're basically passing an application.
Yeah. I was like, okay. So I'm walking around. There's all these girls in their nice heels, and I'm there with, I think they gave me slippers, too, like, these ugly throwaway slippers that you can put on. And I'm like, FML.
So you were in Chris Brown's house. What's his house like?
Sick. His house is so sick. I think we were in just one part of it, which is kind of like the party area. And they had like arcade machines. And if you looked up, there was like racks of clothes that I guess he gets sent to him for stuff. I don't know. But the arcade part was sick. Like his house is an arcade.
That's crazy.
Really
and you said
cool.
after a while they were like, you can put your shoes back on?
Yeah. So then we were chilling there for a bit. Chris Brown, by the way, super nice. I've met a couple celebs and Chris Brown's super nice. He really quiet. wasn't expecting that from him, was like really quiet. But then would walk around and be like, "You good? You good?" to everyone. It was just checking like if everyone was good all the time.
You're like, no, I want my shoes.
Absolutely. We'll get to that part. And actually, at one point, I had my drink was empty, and he walked by and he's like, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, your drink's empty." And he actually made me a drink.
The bare
like,
fucking minimum.
Well, you would
Yes.
be surprised because some celebs
Yes.
will be like, I'm not making you a drink. Like, someone will make you a drink.
For sure.
But he himself went and made me a drink. And I was like impressed by that coming from a celebrity.
For sure.
Because they're not the same character. Like, it's not the same. They're so used to having everything done for them
that they
it's-
just have to like snap their fingers.
Yeah. So I was like impressed that he got me a drink, impressed that he was always checking in on everyone. And
Do you
then
think it's because he wanted to fuck you?
well,
I don't think Chris Brown's making a drink for a girl he's not trying to fuck. Anyways.
I mean, anyways, did not sleep with him, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. But he was really chill, really nice. And coming back to the shoes part, at one point, I'm like, I've been here for 2 hours. Like, someone was like, I think it was him that was you good, or like his friend said something. And I was like, honestly, like, I'd really love my shoes.
Good. I love that.
And then the guy was like, okay, like, you're
a homegirl
You're
now.
a homegirl now. You can go get your shoes and put them on. And I'm like, no way. I made it. And I put my shoes back on.
He's like, great. I made her a drink and she didn't put down her pants. So maybe if I, make her put back her shoes, maybe she'll put her pants down.
Well,
and you were
he
still
tried.
like, nope, you need to try harder.
Yeah, so I got my shoes back.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I even think at one point I also think I got my phone at that same time, which was like really cool. I was like, now I'm a homie.
You're
like,
a homie now.
I fit in. They trust
I feel
me.
like at that point when they're like, well, here's your phone back, you're almost like, keep it in the basket.
Yeah,
I don't even need it.
If you think I looked at my phone once when they gave
I
it
feel
back.
like if you would even just go on it, they would be like, what's this bitch about? Like, what do you think she's up to? I feel like they would like,
No, I don't
No?
think so. Like, people were on their phones.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would be like, oh my God, I feel like they just trusted me with this. And now like I'm on my phone. Like, what do they think I'm doing?
Yeah, no, I didn't go on
Okay.
it. Said it was so hard not to fangirl over Chris Brown.
You find him hot?
He's definitely good looking, yeah, for sure. But not even for that. It's just like when I was younger, I found him so hot. I was like, I love Chris
like
Brown.
Rihanna days.
Yeah. Then I found out the whole thing with Rihanna, and I was like, like him less. But then it's still like your childhood person, and you're like, wow, I'm
For
in
sure.
Chris Brown's house.
I feel like when you meet a celebrity, it's always a weird thing because you just want to be honest and be like, I
loved you when I was a
loved
kid.
you. I don't want to come off as a fan, but like I loved you. But then it's like, how do you act cool and then say that?
Yeah.
It doesn't go in the same sentence. So you just act like they're just a regular person, but meanwhile in your mind you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in Chris Brown's house.
Oh my God. I was like, I can't believe Chris Brown just made me a drink.
Like what?
What?
Buy you a drink.
I don't think that's the same one. I don't
No,
think
that's
Chris
not. I think
Brown.
it's 50 Cent.
I don't think it's 50 Cent either.
Buy you a drink. T-Pain. I'm a man with me because I got money
you know
in
what?
the bag. No?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Another random thought I wanted to talk about, which we were actually talking about yesterday, is obviously if you've been a fan of the podcast, then you know that we've done an episode on me almost getting kidnapped in Miami, which obviously you know about.
Yeah.
You weren't there with me, but I'm not going to get into that all over again, but it's crazy because you were telling me a story which I feel like you weren't going to tell me because you didn't want me to get paranoid again.
Yeah, I didn't want to scare her. I wasn't going to tell her. But then it came up yesterday.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So the whole story about Alessia almost getting kidnapped, I have to say, when I heard it, I was like, okay, she's exaggerating.
And you know what's so annoying is that I even contemplated speaking about it on the podcast because I always knew there would be one fucker to be like, you're making the story up or it's a lie.
I don't think you made it up at all. I think that I think everyone knows that you've had this kind of fear
For
since
sure.
you're younger. I just think that maybe you were paranoid and you
Yeah.
over analyzed everything, and then
situation.
maybe the guy was just being a dick,
Yeah.
I really just thought that maybe you took a few signs and
Like blew it out of proportion.
I don't think you meant to blow it up. I think you were a bit paranoid and in feeling that way. You actually thought this was happening to you. I was just like, maybe it wasn't actually happening. The guy was just being a dick. But like, you're just paranoid.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's so hard when you feel something so strong and you know yourself what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, like I wasn't there with you.
Exactly. And it's like, you'll never really understand unless you were there. And I think for me, all I could say is that thank God I was with a girlfriend, and thank God she was like, Ale, like, you're fucking nuts. And by the end of it, when we escaped, she was like, Ale, like we're saved now. Like she was completely
also felt that way.
And she is not scared of anything.
Yeah.
So I think you can be like, okay, Alessia's paranoid, like shut the fuck up. And then you could also be like, her paranoia is why we are saved right now.
Yeah. And it's so hard to know because you weren't, no one was there with you. So.
And the only reason I'll say I survived it is because of being at the airport, hearing all the messages, breaking a nail, what are the odds, having to go get my nail done, and the girl's like, I'm telling you, this is going on so much, always have peppermint spray. Like, I swear, even as somebody who is scared of being kidnapped, I was not living in fear. I was taking Ubers. I didn't process even when I heard it at the airport. Like, I wasn't stopping taking Ubers. It really just happened when I got into this Uber and it was like the door was locked and everything I was asking for he wasn't doing, and then I was like, this is happening. But anyways, I want to talk about like
what I heard. Yeah. Well, that's so after I heard this, I felt kind of bad for feeling that way about your story, because I was like, you know what, maybe this shit is actually happening. And so what I actually saw a couple days ago is, I don't know if you guys probably do know Morgan Osman, the real Morgan Britt on
Morgan
Instagram.
Britt. She was also the girl who was on the plane.
The plane girl.
The plane girl. She was on the plane and someone was videotaping her and she's like, bitch, I'm fucking like Instagram famous. Yeah. And she walked.
The plane girl.
The plane girl.
So she's definitely problematic.
For sure.
Always blowing things up on Instagram.
I
and
also
posting
think she's
stuff.
very real though. She says a lot of shit that no one's gonna say, and I respect her for that.
Oh, absolutely. I follow her, love to see the drama.
Yeah.
But definitely problematic, and there's always some sort of drama going on. So the latest drama was that she went to Mila, which is this restaurant club in Miami. Restaurant. It's a restaurant in Miami.
I mean, if you've gone to Miami, you've definitely been to Mila.
It's where they do the fire shows and stuff.
Like they opened up a club at the bottom, like a speakeasy. It's just like a happening, good restaurant. Yeah. And everyone goes.
Yeah. So essentially she went to Mila, and I don't know the whole story. She didn't say exactly what happened, but she starts blasting them and she's like, fuck this place, Mila. They're like, they should be canceled. They're so rude. Their security thinks that they're like this CIA and like blah, 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 blah. And also outs them and is like, Mila is sex trafficking girls. The owners all know that this is going on, and there's lineups of Ubers on the side of Mila where they're literally putting girls in to get sex trafficked, and the owners are aware of this and are part of this scheme. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's wild. And then she posted other girls who actually responded to her and was like, yeah, this actually happened. Yeah, this happened to me, XYZ. And essentially, that's the thing. They have like a sex trafficking ring.
Do we know any stories? Did she
No, she didn't say anything about that. But I was just surprised to see it being a thing where she was like, all the owners know about it. They're in on it. They're making money off of this. And they have a lineup of Ubers where they literally like sex traffic girls. And she was like, I was so scared standing outside that place, like knowing that people are getting sex trafficked right there.
Yeah. I think Miami is definitely a party place and there's a lot of fun, but I think with that being said,
it's the easiest place to get away with it.
It's just because you're just shipped on a boat and then you're in fucking Mexico. I feel like there should be definitely new processes in place so that this shit doesn't happen, you know? Yeah. So I feel like that's just like really sad.
It is really sad. I love Miami, and that's like something that's a bit scary knowing.
I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like after that happened, I slowed down on the amount of times I like started going there, and I feel like now I only really feel comfortable going there if I'm with a man. Like obviously I'm gonna go with girlfriends, but I don't think people realize how bad it is right now. Like if it's going on and people are talking about it at the airports, that means that it's happening more often than not.
Is it you that sent me that clip? And it's like a guy, it's a TikTok, and the guy's like, if ever you're in an Uber and you feel unsafe, play this clip in the background.
Yeah, it was me.
And it's a guy where you're like,
he's like, hello, where are you? I'll be waiting for you. I'm tracking you. Like, with such a deep voice, so that literally don't fuck with this.
So that you can pretend to be on the phone with him, and you're like, babe, I'm on my way. I'm in the Uber. So that the Uber knows that there's a guy who sounds like he's gonna kick your ass if you don't show up there in one piece. And he's like, I'm coming outside to make sure you're okay.
It's crazy.
I feel like they should actually have something. Well, then everyone would know about it. And I guess not.
I just
but as a girl, you should find that clip and have it on your phone.
Which is actually something else I wanted to talk about, because you know how we're, as women, like, I don't think men realize this a lot, so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about, but the safety of a woman, like we need safety from men, but who we're also scared of is men.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I just wanted to bring awareness to that, because I feel like a lot of the times men are just like, oh, that didn't really happen, or like they don't see it like that because they're not living in a woman's body. And I feel like just to really tie it all together, like, do you ever fully feel safe as a woman? No.
Well, I mean, sometimes if I'm with a guy.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're alone and you're just walking in the street, and it could be, as a woman, like, we're never like da da da, just like thinking of rainbows and walking. Like, we're always like, okay, like, who's that person to our right? Like, we're always aware.
Yeah.
And we have to be. And if you're not, then as a girl, you have to be. So I think when they make memes about how when you're with a guy,
and you're like da 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 da,
and we're dozing off, it's because it's actually the only time we could put our brain to rest.
Yeah. For sure. I really feel that.
Yeah. So I think men should just step up to the plate.
You know what? I think that it's always good for a guy to have either sisters or like a girl best friend or someone that they can like speak to that can give them the girl's perspective of things. Because I've definitely noticed from guys who don't have any sisters or who don't have any like really strong like female, not necessarily a mom, because it's not the same. A mom is not the same. Like, you need someone your own age that can kind of tell you these things, so you can be like, okay, I understand how the female brain works. Because if they grew up like just with boys, they don't get that feeling. They don't get like how much more dangerous the world is as a woman.
Yeah. It's so fucking true.
As long as you have someone you're kind of your own age, someone in your age vicinity where you can see what they're also going through at that age. It's not like your mom where she's already your role model and she's with your dad.
This episode's going to come out right before the holidays, so that's why we're kind of dressed up, you know, as Santa's helpers. And we were kind of going to give a few tips on what you can get your girl for the holidays and what you can get your man, but we'll probably be better at what you should get a girl, because I still don't know what to get my dad. You?
Oh my God.
Every year,
my dad is the hardest person to get a gift for.
Yeah, I know.
Is that like a universal dad thing?
I think it's just because they don't ask for anything and they're happy with whatever they get.
Yeah, I think that really talks into like how men are in general.
Oh, but I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they're not like us.
Yeah. But I think that they need to I think this is where men fall short when they're trying to get a gift for their girlfriend, because they feel like if I get her anything, like she should be happy.
Because they're happy with anything.
Exactly.
But it's like, no, babe, it's not the same.
Yeah.
We're like, did you think about what you got?
Yeah. Did you think about me when you got this gift and know what I like? That means you listen to me.
Yes.
That's the important part. If you get me something that I don't like, then it's like, do you even know me?
Yeah.
Should we break up right now?
We're insulted.
Yeah, it's insulting.
I think the best way to do it is to just throughout the year before Christmas time, whenever they say they like something, even if you're not a good listener, but you hear what they say, write it in notes. Just write it in goddamn notes, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then when you go back to it when you need to buy a gift.
Yeah.
But Tanya, what happens
like,
when you're like,
if a girl
Birkin?
says, I like this, it's because she wants you to remember this for the next time you have to get a gift.
Exactly.
So, we're doing it. We're giving you all the hints. You just have to like listen.
Literally. I'm like, I can't start telling you what your girl wants, but I know a girl's never not happy with a pair of heels.
Oh, for sure.
A good old designer bag. I don't know what it is with
you
a
have
bag.
to talk about like every budget though.
Yes. Okay, fair. But
bag
like
or heels.
But that's two major different budgets already.
Well, it depends. You can get like regular heels.
Yeah.
And a regular bag.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes down to these holidays, you just have to show you put in more effort. And what shows you put in more effort? Like spending a little more money.
A little more.
A little. But what's like the best thing you've ever got?
Oh my gosh.
Like, are you always happier with a bag or shoes?
A bag for
bag,
sure.
yeah.
Because it just costs so much more.
Yeah.
And also you can't ruin it as easily. And you can wear it. Well, you can wear shoes really often too, but I feel like they'll get destroyed. With my bags, I'm so careful.
Yeah, that's so true.
It lasts forever.
Yeah, like bags are definitely a timeless piece.
Yeah.
If you get the right, color and you don't start doing like,
Yeah, you have to be safe with the color.
Yeah, especially if you're planning on getting your girl a designer bag and she doesn't have many, always stick with black, nude, or like a brown, something neutral.
Look
Don't
at her
start
closet.
by getting her a red because she never had a bag before.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Oh,
make sense. Stick
for
with
sure.
like
Also,
brown,
don't try
white, black, white.
Actually, don't try. I have one of my friends message me and he's like, "Oh, I was thinking of getting this bag for her. I know she'd love it." And I was like, "Oh my god, love that one." And he's like, "Hey, they don't have it in this color, but they have it in a different color." And I was like, "No, because this color matches the other shoes that you got her." And he's like, "Yeah, but that color matches these other shoes I got her." And I was like, "No, different kind of fabric doesn't go together. I know it's the same color, but wrong."
Men are so clueless.
And he was like, "Wow, thank God I checked with you." And I'm like, "Yep. You're so welcome. This is why you need a girl best friend."
Yes.
Or like a sister. And if you don't have a sister, find a girl that you're not trying to bang.
Which is impossible. So don't find a girl. Ask your mom.
I guess
If
ask
she has
your
good
mom.
style.
Yeah.
No, ask the friends. I'm sorry.
Ask the girl's friends, definitely. Ask the girl's friends. If
Yeah.
she has a gay friend, ask him.
So what are you getting your dad this year? Because I struggle every single year.
Oh my God, he's the hardest. My dad is like, I will get him stuff.
I've gotten designer wallet, doesn't wear it.
Belt.
Belt, doesn't wear it.
No, my dad's the worst. It's like, I know he needs a new wallet because his wallet that he has, it's like this old leather
But he
wallet.
won't change it regardless.
Wait. It's so old that it's like split and he uses a elastic that he wraps around the wallet to keep it together. So every time he needs to use it, he takes off the elastic to like pull stuff out of it. I'm like, are you normal? Like, so we've gotten him a new wallet to replace that one. Ask me if he uses it. No, he's still using the wallet with the elastic.
Crazy.
He just likes his old stuff, like, and he's so happy that he got a wallet, but then he just never uses it.
Insane.
I like getting shoes for guys. Belts.
Shoes.
Belts, wallets, accessories are just good.
Yeah.
Good gifts.
And also they're not like that expensive.
Yeah.
How much do you think someone should spend on a gift for, let's say, the holidays?
Are we talking about like a couple relationship? Like how much should the guy spend on the girl and how much does the girl spend on the guy?
Exactly.
I think that the guy should always spend more on the girl.
Yeah.
But I
agree.
also don't think that as a girl you go get like the shittiest, smallest gift and be like, here, I got you something.
For sure. Obviously, everyone makes a different amount of money.
Yeah, that also goes into
Exactly. So I think I found a kind of technique that would work in order to decide how much to spend on someone. Because you know how they say with diamond rings, you should spend 25% of your salary on a diamond ring. Like it's just been known for like
3
the
months.
longest
Yeah,
time that 3 months of a salary should go towards an engagement ring, which we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But whatever your salary is, whatever you get, let's say you get a paycheck every 2 weeks or you get a paycheck every month. I think if you get a paycheck every month, then at least 1/4 to 2/4 of it should be a gift for the holidays. And if you get paid every 2 weeks, then half your salary should go towards a gift.
That's fair. My only thing here is like, obviously in some relationships, the girl is making more than the guy. Which is like, again, this might be...
No, this was for men.
Oh, for men?
This was for men.
As a girl. But so what if you're making more than him and then like... So for me, and the dynamic that I like in a relationship, and I feel like whatever type of guy I date, sometimes they're like having a hard time. Sometimes they can't spend so much on you. And I think it makes them feel worse if you get them a better gift than they get you.
That is so true.
Yeah.
You can never...
You can't like outshine him. As a provider man, I think that, and again, it depends what kind of guy you're dating, but as a provider man, I think for them, it's really important to make them feel like they got you the better gift.
1,000%. I think
Yeah.
even if you are making a bigger salary than your man, you should absolutely never go out and buy them a bigger gift than what they can get you,
And-
because you're just belittling them.
Yeah.
And then they're just not going to feel good in
manly.
the
They
relationship.
won't feel manly.
No.
So I think if you're in that position where your man's not making that much, or you know that you're making more than him, and you know that he's not getting you a crazy gift, make him a gift. Get him something that is more thoughtful, that, oh, I got these pictures of us and I did this, where he feels like it's more thoughtful and you didn't put so much money into it. So then he can be the man and be like, I got you this gift that I spent money on. Even if it's $100 or $50, at least he's the one who went and spent the money on it.
Yeah.
So he gets to still feel like the provider in that dynamic.
I could not agree with you more, because I think sometimes as women we want to do so much, we want to prove our love.
Yeah.
But it really, like, for a man who's like probably not where they want to be, and like
just puts
the
them
gift
down.
they want to actually get you, it just puts them down. So I think cute customizable things are fun too. I think men, because they don't really normally ask for a lot of things, they're not like, oh, get me an Xbox for Christmas. It's kind of just like, it's not in their nature to really ask for things. So whatever
I
they
think
do
if they
get,
ask for an Xbox for Christmas, not the kind of guy I want to do.
100%. Like, if you're still gaming, then get your shit
It's
together.
not even about that. If you're asking me to get you an Xbox, like, let me get it for you on my own.
For
but
sure.
as a man, like, you coming up to me, and it's different. Again, different dynamics, and I might be, like, sexist for saying this.
Yeah.
I'm for sure getting canceled, but, like, I think the girl should be like, I want this, and, like,
The guy should be like, I don't want anything. But one of
100%.
the gifts that I think
and
could
don't
be,
ask for an Xbox.
Yeah, I think a cute gift, which I think is something you've done in the past, but I think customizable, like, bathrobes. So it's like the gift is for you and it's also for him, so he doesn't feel as like weird accepting a gift, because it's like something cute, thoughtful, and like customizable for both of you.
What about if someone says, don't get me a gift?
Well, you obviously still get them a gift,
Right? Never? Okay.
But I think what
For
they
men
really
out
mean
there-
is like, don't spend your money on me. So that means don't get them a huge gift. That's what it really means.
Yes and no. I still think if someone ever tells me don't get me a gift, I still get a gift. But of course, I try to take into account how much they're spending on me so that I can create the right dynamic for it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think
but always just never, girl or guy, if anyone says this to you, always still get a gift.
Yeah, for sure. The most difficult part about getting a gift is the first time, because let's say his birthday comes before yours.
Oh,
you
God,
kind of
that's
set
so
you
hard.
kind of set the standard at the beginning. So you really don't know at the beginning what their price range is. So I think that's the hardest.
That's the hardest
You know,
one.
like, what if your birthday comes before theirs? It's so difficult. That's the hardest part. Should you get a guy you're fucking a gift?
No. If you're just like sleeping with them and it's a situationship, why would you get them? Like, either you don't care about them or you do and they're not committing to you. So I don't think in any of those situations you would get that person a gift.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you're both like, okay, this is like a fuck buddy like relationship and it's been going on for a year and you already know like what it is, but I wouldn't. If they can't even give you the bare minimum of committing to you, please do not go get them a gift. Like, it makes you look so bad.
Yeah.
And
love
then
how
they'll
in
really
all
not
this where
commit
they're
to
like
you.
thinking that it's the man that doesn't want to commit, but you know what? Fuck. What if it's us who doesn't want to commit? What if it's us who doesn't want to be?
Then
with
you
them?
still don't get a gift.
100%.
Then you're just making them feel like maybe if you're the one who doesn't want to commit and you get them a
You
gift,
just don't get anyone a
you're
gift.
giving them hope that you will commit.
For sure. No. There's no gifts that are given in any situation that you guys haven't decided if you're dating or not.
Yeah.
So absolutely not.
Unless you're like, unless you're like, it's so new and it's been a month and you're seeing each other, then I would get a gift. But already know in your head that this is going somewhere. Not that,
Yes.
oh, I don't know. If he's giving you mixed signals and you feel in any way that this might not be serious for him or for you, don't get a gift.
I totally agree. Okay, moving on from that, let's talk about diamond rings versus lab diamonds.
You mean fake diamonds?
Oh
my God, I'm
Tanya's like,
getting
if you don't get me a ring and no one died from a motherfucking ring, then I don't want it. Blood diamond, baby. You're
We're
like,
getting
you're not making these.
canceled. But for real,
Tanya, be yourself. Don't worry.
I feel so strongly about this subject.
I think that I rather my man buy me a ring that was less carats but still real than a diamond that was made in the lab. And I know
Yeah.
people might be like, what do you mean real? It's still real.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's still
bitch,
it's still a
please.
diamond, yeah, but it was made in yesterday in a lab. Like, is that how your relationship is? Did your relationship just get made yesterday and that's all you're worth? Is something that was just like
yeah.
made and given to you? Like,
I
no,
think-
a diamond is special because it took like thousands of years to be formed.
Yes. And let me just add one thing on this,
Yeah.
okay? I think the reason commitment and marriage means so much is because it's not so attainable.
Yeah.
You really have to work on it. So it's not so easy to find, and then it's really hard to make it last. You both have to be committed. You both have to water the plants.
Exactly.
So I think when it comes to a ring, I really want the ring to symbolize how much I mean to you. And I feel like if I'm getting a lab diamond, then you don't appreciate me as much as you should. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, what do you mean? Like, that's not what it means. But I think in my eyes, the whole reason why a marriage is special is because it's a lot of money to get married, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that go into it. So I feel like if you're already cutting corners with my diamond ring, then how are you going to be in the relationship?
I'm gonna like play devil's advocate
Yeah.
right now and say something that probably other people will think of,
Yeah.
but then we'll get back to this because obviously we feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I've had people be like, okay, well, what if the lab diamond costs as much as your real diamond? Like, what if they get you a huge lab diamond and it still costs them like 30 grand or whatever for this like huge like lab diamond? Because I know you can get lab diamonds that are 4 carats for like 15 G's. So a really huge one that's 30 grand.
It's exactly like I previously said. I rather a lower carat diamond that's real
Yeah.
than a bigger carat that's lab.
I agree because it's still the symbol that it's again that diamond that grew and had to be formed for like thousands of years.
It's a weird topic to talk about because I have a lot of friends who have got lab diamonds,
Yeah.
and I'm always like, it's so pretty, and I don't really want to share my opinion of how I actually feel about it because everyone's situation is different.
So yeah, for me it's the same thing. I really feel strongly about
It's a
that.
weird topic to talk about for sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to offend anyone, and I know we're gonna get canceled for this. Because if you have a lab diamond, you're hating us right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also think it comes down to your own preference. Some people don't care about rings at all, and they're like, "Don't get me a ring." In which case, that's up to you. Personally, I think for me, it's a really big deal, the ring that you get me, because I really believe in that 3 months of your salary. There's a reason why that's a thing, and it's because 3 months of your salary, it's not like you can just save up for 3 months and then buy it. You have to be thinking about this and putting, half of your money aside or a little bit of your money aside every month over like a year to be able to get that ring. Showing that you didn't just think, okay, I have 5K in my bank account. Let me just go buy it tomorrow. It's like, no, how much is your salary? If your 3 times your salary is like 20, 30K, it's not that easy. It's not just a $5,000 lab diamond that's still pretty, still big, still looks good. Like, no, I want the real one that you actually have to go and spend 3 times your salary on that ring because you put the time, you put the time in to think about it. And when you bought that ring, you were sweating. Like, I want you to go there sweating, knowing that this is a big decision, you're putting your money, your hard-earned money that you work so hard for, you're taking that money, putting it on something that's completely fucking useless because you resell that ring, it's worth nothing after, even if it's a real diamond. It loses so much value. So you're putting your money on this stupid little fucking diamond to give to me because you love me so much and you want to prove that to me. It's really a symbol that I feel really strongly about.
I totally agree with you. I think, like I said, I feel weird even talking about this, even if I feel the same way about you, because I know that I have friends who've gotten lab diamonds, and look, they look beautiful. But I think it's just the principle of knowing that, one, it's not it's not something that's just attainable and you can have it any day, and that's kind of how you should feel about our relationship.
Exactly.
Is that not everyone could have it. You really have to think about it, and you're making the right decision, and this big investment is worth it for the type of woman you're getting.
Exactly.
It's really showing the value of like this ring, like whatever I'm getting her, like she even deserves more because I chose the right woman. I know who I'm marrying, and I'm obviously, any marriage you're still taking a gamble, but you're willing to take a gamble on someone you love.
Honestly, if you're like wishy-washy about me and you're like, okay, again, I can get her a nice ring for $5,000, a lab diamond, $5,000, still a nice big rock that you can get for 5 G's. But if that's not like 3 months worth of your salary,
Yeah.
you didn't really have to think about it that hard. You didn't have to sweat that much. That's a very small risk that you're taking. So
Yeah.
the risk versus reward is really high. Like, you want to be taking a huge risk,
Yeah.
putting this time and energy into me.
Yeah. What if the woman was like, I don't care if it's lab or real. I just want it to look big and it's to be like
that's
a lot
her
of
choice.
carrots.
That's her
So like
choice.
if she says that, I don't care, then at
Yeah,
that
then
point.
get that. But obviously, like,
But I want to be with a man who would be like, absolutely not.
but you would never say that. And
I know I would never say
The kind
that.
of girl that would say that wouldn't mind if he got her a lab diamond, and obviously doesn't feel that same way about the symbol behind it.
But what if she really, this is another argument I can have, is like, what if she really wants
a real one?
a real one, but she knows her man is not in a financial place to give her what she really wants. So she's like, it's okay, babe, just get me the lab diamond. I
But-
don't think you should get married. That's another really crazy debate.
Oh, that's a deep one. If he's not financially
But
ready, yeah,
that's-
you can't even get married
No,
because
I'm
it's
sorry.
fucking
I'm
expensive
sorry.
to get
I
married.
don't think a man should get married if they're not financially stable. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
going to get canceled for this. But yes, you can have the right woman by your side and you could grind together. But I don't think you should actually go through with the marriage until you're financially stable.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Look, I'm sorry.
But you also have to be financially stable when I'm ready to go.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I would want my ring right away. But I also wouldn't settle and say, like...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because like on the opposite end, on the
I would
opposite
take a
end of
smaller
it,
ring, still real, smaller ring, 3 months of your current salary.
Yeah.
And then when you do get to the place where you want to be,
you can always upgrade
my ring.
Yeah.
Upgrade my ring.
for sure.
But I still don't want a lab diamond. And
It's like my dad, when he got my mom her ring, it wasn't like the most like beautiful ring. And now like
But was it 3 months of his salary?
it was absolutely for sure. Like my dad definitely was like, I'm
in the
gonna get her
old-
real.
In the past, it was so like that.
Yes. And it
this
should
whole new mindset of like, we've just made it too easy for people.
but now
to,
it's like my dad gave my mom the option and then instead she chose to do like just a nice beautiful extra band to add to it.
Yeah.
But I think for sure like there's something beautiful to celebrate about a family that's still together and that made it like you should not stop doing these things when like you're with someone that you've gone through fucking hell with, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just like, I don't know. I'd like to see the study on how many more people stayed together when they got an actual ring versus lab. It's gotta
Oh, that's a crazy one.
it's gotta be higher.
For sure.
It's gotta be
because you
higher.
sweat it. You really, the fact that
you thought about it so much before
Yeah,
you
because it's a big
proposed.
investment.
Whereas like
'Cause
lab,
men think
anyone
about-
could do it.
Yeah, men think about money, right? They think about their hard-earned money. They think every dollar that they put down on you, they think back at how hard they had to work
Yeah.
for that dollar.
So fucking true. Did we like say everything we wanted to about this? I feel like we're
think-
so strongly about
I feel so
No, I know.
strongly about it. Like I would, okay, here's my last thing. If someone gave you a lab diamond, you know, would you say yes? If you really, really love them and they showed up and they gave you a lab diamond when they proposed, would you say yes?
No.
You would say no?
I'll tell you why I'll say no. I'll say no because, first of all, the type of person I'm going to end up with is already going to know me and know that they can't do that.
Yeah.
So if you know me, and obviously, like, we can act like it's a surprise, you didn't know you were getting engaged, but a lot of the times, that is so discussed before you actually get down on one
Yeah.
knee.
Or
And
you've
if
told
you
your
know
friends
that I
at
feel that
least,
way,
yeah.
because you would know that I feel that way,
Yeah.
and then you would do it against how I feel, then
Well,
I
now
would
they'll
just...
for sure know. They're going to watch
Well,
this
now
and know.
I'm going to be like, well, you didn't listen. Because I'm not saying you
going
have to,
back to the gifts.
But- yeah,
Exactly. You didn't listen.
I'm not asking you to spend more if you can't afford it. I'm just saying that I want it to be a real diamond. So if it's less carats, then just go with that.
Yeah.
But I
still
want
3
it to
months
be
of salary.
Yes, but I still want it to be a real one. If I had
Yeah.
to choose between it being less carats for it to be real, then I'm still choosing that.
I agree.
And I think like that's the part that's going to get misled here.
Oh, for sure. But because if they say, same thing for me, by the way, if they came up to me with, because like you said, they know me at this point, they know what I like, my standards. And if
Yeah.
you came to me and after knowing that that's what I want, a real one, and you came up and you brought me a lab diamond, I would say no because you don't know me. And I shouldn't
that's
be,
what I'm
and I
saying.
shouldn't be marrying you because I'll be disappointed down the line where you're just not going to be listening.
And
to
that's
me.
why I'm saying no, because you weren't listening.
What if they come back with the real one after? Do you say yes or are you still like, it's too late?
No, I mean, I mean, it really depends. Like, this is like, come on, this is fucking situational now. Now you're like, so if you're at the top of the mountain and they say jump, but you're going to be safe, you're going to jump. It's like, well, I don't know.
They already didn't do what you wanted, so they already are not listening to you.
That's true.
But at least they fixed it.
That's true. I remember once I was talking to a guy and like, I don't know why we were talking about rings, but I feel like sometimes you talk about rings when almost something is so not serious because you feel so comfortable too, where I feel like it gets harder to talk about it when you're actually like dating.
Yeah.
Because it feels more real. And I was like, this is the type of ring I like. He's like, I don't even want to see, like, I'm going to choose it. And I was like, I hated that energy. I was like, oh, I don't like you already.
I'm the one who has to wear the ring.
I'm the one who has to wear it. Don't you want to get me something that I like?
What if it doesn't look good on my finger?
Why are you not open-minded to how I feel about a ring?
No.
And just because I like a ring, how do you know it's going to look good on my finger?
Did you leave the date?
Yeah, that.
No, did you leave in the middle?
No, I didn't.
You let it? You were just like, never again.
I just like
canceled.
Noted. I think men don't realize, but a lot of times women will act so like chill on a date, but we are taking so many notes down.
So many notes.
And like, you don't realize how much women analyze you. If you're wondering why you went on a date and you're like, I don't get it, it went so well, like, why is she ghosting me? It's because she was analyzing that date and there was things she didn't like what you said, but she acted chill and then she just ghosted you.
Do you ghost or do you say it?
I 100% ghost. I'm a ghoster.
Oh, I'll tell them. I'll be like, sorry, I don't feel the same way. Like,
really? But what if
then
it's
it makes them even more crazy?
Yeah,
so
but don't you feel like when you say that, it's kind of like, okay, but like, I didn't want anything anyways. Like, what did you think?
I don't care. No, if they're still coming at me and they're like, can I take you on another date? I'll be like, no, sorry. Like, honestly, I wasn't vibing with you the first time. Like, I don't want to waste either of our time and go on another date.
I guess it depends the situation, but there's a lot of times I just ghosted because I'm just like, if you don't get it, buddy, like when you text someone once and they don't answer, I think you have one more chance to send a message. If they don't answer you after the second message, buddy, you're out. Done.
Yeah.
Like, stop it right now.
I'll tell people. Sometimes I ghost, but I feel like mostly I'll just tell people.
But I also feel like I don't have, like, I don't owe you that. After one date, I don't owe you having to explain why we're not for each other.
Well, I don't explain. I'm just like, I'm not vibing.
Okay, well, this was so fun. I'm definitely going to have you on again. I feel like we can go on. There's so many other things I want to talk about, like Raya dates and
God.
So many other things. But you'll definitely come back on, right? You'll be a huge. A reg?
Yeah.
First of all, before we end this, I don't know why you made me get that as your Starbucks order. I'm freaking out.
Why?
But then I was also like, well, no kidding, your skin is fucking amazing. You're having black coffee. And I'm here with like my
black coffee.
Hi, can I have cinnamon? Can I have oat milk? Can I have vanilla? Like, yeah, no kidding, your skin is fucking reacting. So I'm actually just jealous that you can drink that.
I don't know if that's what's making it nice because I always drank black coffee and my skin just got clear like a couple months ago. It was a struggle for the past year and a half, like really bad.
Well, we're happy you're here. We're happy your skin is skinning.
Yeah.
I feel like people have this persona of you where they're like, you're not a girl's girl because you're hot and men like you. So automatically you can't be a girl's girl, which is like fucked up to think. But if you also, for the next time she comes on, have any questions you want answered, then feel free to message me, write in the comments. I love you. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Tanya, honestly, it's like talking to myself.
Oh, I know.
So easy.
So easy. Too easy.
Too fucking easy. Okay. Well, I think we're at an hour over, so.
Bye. I'm waving like the queen.